Okay, so we have hit the live button. We are going live. That's happening now. And folks will come and join us as we keep going here. One second here. How's it going, guys? How's everybody doing this morning? Or this morning?
What's
This
going
evening?
on, brother? What's going on? What's going
I
on? It
apparently
is.
have no idea what time of day it is. So, all right. Oh, you made it. Awesome. Okay, so folks are still joining us. Guys, I'm Matt, this is Photosynthetic. Welcome to a very special live stream, the Captain's Forum for the One World, One Plant Grow. Again, we've still got folks kind of coming into the stream here. We're dealing with some audio stuff here. So if anybody has any questions for the crew here tonight, throw them down in the chat. And we're just taking another minute here to kind of get things started. So how's everybody doing this evening? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. Goddamn good, man.
Of course,
can y'all hear me?
We got you just fine there, Trey. Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
And
Cool.
a few you watching might recognize past guest V9 Grows 420. He was on Meet the Grower there. Well, it was just the end of 2021. We had
about the tail end of it.
Yeah, it was a great chat too. Really enjoyed that. So, how's everybody doing in the chat here? If you guys have questions for the captains, anything you want us to talk about, throw it up in there in the chat there, and we'll see if we can't get to your questions. We should have Branden joining us here as well, I believe. Of course, the man himself from InHouse Genetics, the person responsible for putting on the One World, One Plant Growers Showcase. That being said, let's get into it, guys. How's everybody doing this evening?
Real good.
I'm blazing. I'm focusing on V9's cookies. So, I'm feeling good.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, I guess as we're getting started here, I think it makes sense if we kind of did a bit of a round table. Everybody go through, introduce themselves, tell us, who you are, where you're from, and, maybe how long you've been growing for, some of your experiences around that. And
maybe first.
Well, I think most people watching the channel know who I am, but of course, if you're new to the channel, if you just joined the stream because of one of these fine individuals, my name is Matt. This is my channel here, Photosynthetic, name on the board there. And guys, just a quick shout out to our boy Woods Customs. Just sent me this brand new skateboard custom made deck that he hand painted himself. So absolutely appreciate that, brother. Just super cool of you to do that. And, I love growing good cannabis personally, and the fact that I got to be part of the in-house grower showcase it's been fantastic so far, and really, really happy to be able to have everybody here on the show today come and chat and talk about their experiences so far. So maybe we'll throw it over to V9 Grows 420 next. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir?
What up? It's your boy, motherfucking boy. V9 Grows 420. I am actually a licensed cultivator, caregiver out of the Missouri area in the United States. I started growing about 3 years ago, just kind of like underground, not even knowing that the law was going to go into effect, and just kind of started to notice that in the state of Missouri that no one was talking about home growing that much. So I took an idea in a Facebook group to start a live stream and, start doing live streams. And every Tuesday I turned the camera on at 7 and basically did the same intro you guys heard in the very beginning when I first started talking. and every week it started to balloon. And because people wanted the knowledge to be able to home grow, because all they kept hearing about was dispensaries and cultivation facilities, impossible jobs, and where you can get your card. But no one was talking about the home grow program. I'm like, I'm a novice grower. I'll just do it because I don't talk over people's heads. Like sometimes really, really experienced growers sometimes talk over the novice grower's head. So I figure if I give it to them from a novice standpoint, I can't talk over their head. Like I'm talking over my own head. So then 3 years later, here you go. V9 Grows 420, 9,000 total followers later. Here I am.
Nice. Living the dream.
Thank you guys for all your support. Thank you. Thank you.
Right on. Midday, why don't we go to you next, sir? It looks like you got your audio working now.
Yeah, I'll go switch it back to the phone. So Sorry, I missed a part of that chunk before. So, what was the question?
We were just going to have you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background, and how you came to be a grower.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So, as you can tell from the voice, I've been growing since I was a teenager. Started out just getting, bag seeds and just chucking them in the dirt. Fun. I lived out in the bush, so I could get away with it, sort of. Yeah, so I got more serious about it in the last 10 years. We've got have to go deal with street deals and stuff to get weed and decided to grow it myself. Probably been doing it for the last 8 years or so. Pretty solid.
Right on. Your audio is just a little hollow there, so I don't know if you're sitting back from your mic. So
Yeah, I'll have to get a bit closer. Is that better?
that's much better, much better. I see the man himself, Branden, is joining us. How's it going, sir? You're sitting on mute there if you're chatting. Oh, we still can't hear you. We'll let you maybe check that a little bit. While you're checking that, Trey, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from, your background as a grower, how you got to be here today?
So I grew up in the Midwest, started growing in like Prohibition. Of course, it all started because a family member came up to me and asked me if I had any seeds. And literally my first reaction was like, who keeps seeds? Like seeds from bags? Like seeds that you find? What? That was probably like 2014 or so. Then I started I found Grow Weed Easy, the forum on G+, and spent like a year like hanging out answering is this male or is this female questions. And finally got some of my own plants, which ended up being like garlic bud, Afghani, Panama red. And it's just kind of started from there. And now I grow like all kinds of companion plants and stuff here. So I'm highly gongenous on Instagram, but I'm kind of attached. But there's all kinds of sunflowers and dill for my predatory mites and all kinds of stuff in there. Lavender, mint, stuff, and cannabis.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I think a lot of folks, if they don't garden to begin with, once they start growing cannabis, it's just it goes from there. They really start blowing up that garden. And it's Branden. Welcome to the cast, man.
Can you hear me now?
We got you here, sir. So before we go over and find out a little bit more about Tino, I just, I think on behalf on everybody, I really want to say thanks to you first off, sir, for what you guys are doing with sponsoring this grower showcase and really helping us bring the home grower to the front, the forefront that should be. And dude, just awesome to have you here, man.
Actually, yeah, with saying that, there's a couple of people I want to take a minute and pay some respect to that really brought this thing full circle and starting to bring it to what it is. And you're one of those individuals with the Photosynthetic, your platform. You and I had a quick conversation and I was like, I'm having trouble with the Canada group. And what I mean by that is, getting them up into Canada, getting it situated. And you stepped up immediately. You're like, yeah, no problem. I'll help in any way that I can. And then another key ingredient in this is B9 Grows, because it was kind of a conversation him and I had that kind of started the ball rolling. And then of course Canacrew has been really instrumental on, especially with South Africa, contributing all that stuff. So we had this nice little trio here that a couple people came together and really just kind of pushed it over the top. There's a couple people in the background that did a lot of work, especially going through the emails, getting all the information. And then from there, you got the Tinos, you got the Treys that stepped up to really make this possible and make it happen. And as you guys can see, with it playing out daily, it's brought a lot of joy. It's brought a lot of comfort to people, but also it shows and it's been expressing real signs of community again, where we've kind of lost that a little bit over the past decade or so. So I've been excited to watch it. I mean, obviously, being one of the driving factors behind it is one thing. However, but watching people take it that step further, like you have captains and you have groups, but now those groups are intermingling and creating their own groups and discussing grow techniques and all that. So far, I mean, I'm super pleased and super happy to see, but also myself fortunate to be a part of the situation too,
That's amazing. It's amazing. I think everybody's just having a great time doing it. And that being said, Tino, over to you, sir. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Tino's Genetics. I'm from Fresno, California. We just make high quality seeds. It's the home of the pizza box. But yeah, just want to say thanks to Branden, for putting this all together and making it happen. And I'm just glad to be a part of this and this movement here. And it's nice to see everybody come together and showcasing the home growing. That's what I'm always been into, is the smaller grower for the more high quality stuff. And it's nice to see it all come together.
It is. And, that's what this is all about. It's community. One thing I find, the more time I spend in this community, the more I get to know its members, the more I talk to people and grow my own sort of community around this. Everybody is just wants to help, and I think that seems to be the consistent message. It's just everybody wants to help, see everybody be successful, and you don't see that in a lot of communities elsewhere. And I think that's one of the most wonderful things about it. Now, this grower showcase that we're all participating in, from what I can tell, this is sort of the first time this has really been done, especially at this scale. And I know for myself, it was an absolute honor to, just been chosen through luck of the draw, mind you, but still, that's really what brings me to my first question for everybody. How did you feel about being chosen to participate, but then being asked to be a captain? And Tino, we'll go to you first, sir.
I was blown away, to be a part of something, with InHouse is always great. And it was cool because, we have a good little following, and everybody was able to get in and participate. We're able to include a lot of people, and that's what it's all about. For me, is including everybody and to get it going. And I was more than happy to be a part of it. And it was nice because we took care of people from Saipan and Guam. I have people from Trinidad all on my team, so we really got out there and got around to everybody, and it was nice to give everybody a chance.
Yeah, it totally opens up sort of that global market, doesn't it? And Brandon touched on it there just a few minutes ago, Cannon Crew. I'm going to be sitting down with him tomorrow for just a one-on-one chat, so look for that on the channel come Sunday morning. Trey, over to you.
Well, when I got asked, I was like, it's a level up for me, it's just like another way to reach more people and inspire them. Cause like I do a lot of like weird stuff. Like I have like my freak show bonsais. I just hung up wind chimes in my tent. Like I just do like weird stuff. And I think it's really awesome when other people kind of take on like building the aesthetics in their tent. A lot more people grow different kinds of vegetables and things in their tents now. They're realizing you can take all that information and like all this like all of my like stuff is in living soil, all my flowers and stuff. So put it all in there. I give ferments to all my stuff. So it's really branched out. Cannabis was really a gateway plant for me. So it's been really cool to help other people, like inspire other people to grow all kinds of stuff and get really into it.
And that's definitely the way it goes with a lot of folks. Is it's that gateway drug to gardening. So
yeah, for sure. Like it branches off into so many stuff, so many different things. So.
Branden, why don't you go next? Tell us about how you felt about being chosen to participate as captain.
It was really unexpected. I was blown away. I got an email from Brandon about it, asking if I'd be a captain. I was just straight up, hell yeah, I will. I'm stoked to be a part of this. Just even having my number called out, man, I was stoked. Awesome project, awesome company to work with. Stoked, man.
Yeah, I can't really answer that question since I was doing the picking, right? But what I can say is there's a couple of things as you navigate through this community, as you get to understand, like the reason why we're all sitting here right now having this discussion, why we get to do a lot of stuff that we do on social media is based around this plant, right? And if it wasn't for this plant, none of us would be having this conversation. We'd be doing something else or whatnot. But what it really wanted to do is continue to emphasize the importance of home growing. As an example, with Trey, and she incorporates so much into her garden, but it's kind of like her her place of Zen, and that's for a lot of people because this plant challenges you, teaches you a lot of things along the way, and as you can see, it truly connects a lot of people. So it kind of makes the job a little bit easier. You're just paving the way, but connecting more dots that otherwise wouldn't have been connected.
Well put, sir. Well put. Of course, V9, you were working with Branden as part of the One World Plant Challenge. So I guess you weren't really drawn. You were part of it to begin with. So anything you want to top off on, though?
I will say this, and even to this day, I'm still very, very humble. Because growing up, I'm 38 years old. But growing up, I never had things like this happen to me. Like, to be able to have a platform where I can teach people and show people how to grow this amazing plant on a budget where they don't have to break their pockets. And then on top of that, partner with such great people like InHouse and Sono Farm and be able to give people options that they never had before or didn't even think they had before. But the fact of the matter that I get to reach out and touch so many other people as well on top of that, like now I have a team that we all connect and all just like share ideas and we all laugh and joke about stuff. Like building relationships, like that's the whole thing. Like to build like to bridge the gap through relationships, and the relationship connecting point is right here in my hand. Like it's like it doesn't get any better than V9 cookies, man. I'm telling you, look, listen, this is the most amazing thing I've ever experienced in my life, and I've been a part of a lot of great things. But to know that this plant reaches to and fro, here and far, from here and points beyond. Like, and you can just connect with so many people, like people in South Africa, people in Berlin, people in Canada. That's, come on, dude. Like, I never would have ever talked to any of these people. And not just because of InHouse Genetics and what Brandon put together, just because of the effects of this amazing plan. I'm just blessed. I'm blessed. I'm humble.
Yeah, I think we all feel very similar in that regard. And it's the relationships and the community as we build and get bigger and better that really makes this happen. And for me, that's been one of the nice things is being able to meet other Canadian growers, invite them to come join my Discord. And we've got a small community now where we just sit there and talk about the growing and whatnot, share our plans, get to know each other, and just get a little closer as a community. It's really, really fantastic. Now, one of the things, of course, that we have been doing, and I just touched on, was sharing our plants, sharing our pictures and whatnot. And there's been a few interesting things that we've seen so far. But I wanted to ask all of you, has anything interesting come up, anything that you'd like to share that's of merit with your teams, with their growth so far?
I got dudes that are flipping already. They flip like days ago. They've already sexed their plants. I'm so excited.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What? They're flipping already?
Yeah. Once you got like four out of 10 females.
They're like, well, they must have popped them on New Year's Day. Like, they must have popped them right on New Year's Day. And they only wait, that's a 30-day veg about. It's about, yeah.
Yeah, well, if you got your humidity up, so that's the problem that we deal with like around here is the wintertime, keep your humidity up,
But the cool part is everybody's kind of doing it their own way and their own, basically doing it their way. And that's the nice part is there's really no wrong way to do it. So if somebody wants to veg for just a few weeks and flip, then so be it. But you're going to have some people that are going to veg for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I mean, there'll be people probably vegging well into 8 weeks, so because it's just it's a growing, it's people's growing method at the end of the day.
Well, I hope they're
probably fetal hunting.
I hope they're probably fetal hunting. That's what I hope. Because if you're flipping anyway, I mean, you gotta watch you got 5 seeds or 10, you better watch them jump.
What was that, Tino?
I said I like to watch the different progress, like the difference between everybody, watching everything different grow. It's just interesting to me to see, how the plants are going to react in different areas.
Yeah, well, on my take, what I really enjoyed was, I had to do a lot of the legwork, obviously, like standing in line at the post office during Christmas time, pissing everybody off because I had all these envelopes, from waking up and following the One World, One Plant hashtag and seeing people actually receiving them, pulling them out, doing their own photo shoot, and then putting them in water, putting them in a jiffy pot, or basically starting to crack those beans, and then when they started popping. So being able to watch that literally on a daily basis for me has been awesome, because you just know that it takes a lot for somebody to take time out of their day and their situation to take a picture, post it, and then talk about it on top of that, So that's been really cool to see and watch it unfold. But now it's starting to get into the veg. I have seen a couple people that have flipped and starting to bud, which has been pretty interesting in itself. But stuff like that's really kind of what I look forward to, is watching the progress. But also some of the pictures that have come through have been amazing. You have some people that just regular snapshot, then you have some people that are doing like actual photo shoots of it. So it's just that mix and smorgasbord of stuff has been amazing to see in my view of it.
What I'm having a lot of fun with is I've actually grown the swabby plants. I was part of that preservation project when it was first coming out. So like it's so fun to see like how different it is. I can't wait to see hear about the terps coming out. Everything looks platinum dominated. They got like big old fat leaves. So
yeah. And it's cool because
You can
seeing
easily
these
say
pictures
platinum
pop
dominant.
up from all sorts of locales around the world, So it's not necessarily a North America thing anymore. It's all that, and the cool part is this is only done on a micro scale. This is a few hundred people, right? So if this, with this amount of success with just a small sample, imagine what next year is going to be like, and the year after that, as it continues to grow and people continue to grow as well. And also, people are encouraged to work off of these strains and see what they can make out of it, and keep that thing pushing. This could be a one-off, or a two-off situation, or this could be something that goes on for quite some time. But the nice part is it's all about the journey, and I'm getting to meet and interact with a lot of people that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to, or not even been in my view. So that's the exciting part about that.
So I got a friend. The soil that I use in my garden, it's the living soil, the Soil Thrive, where you got to use water only. He's got some beans he's gonna give me for my giveaway, but he also sent me a vial of pollen from one of his Martin Luther King Dream strains that he crossed, and it's amazing. It's Blue Dream crossed with Georgia Peaches. And I'm thinking about using that vial to cross one of the platinum swabbies, or even the colored face.
It should be interesting.
Nice.
And doing a pheno hunt.
Because I know I was talking to Tino about some future stuff along that on the One World One Plant, and because he's set up to breed at any moment. So like I said, it who knows where it's going to go, but obviously, just by the sample that we have, we know it's going somewhere, and it's going there pretty quick.
Yeah, I look forward to being more involved next year. We're going to try to get something bigger going, and we're going to try to involve a lot more people.
Yeah. Also, the precursor to that, here's the thing is, this was put together in a short period of time. And I would say I got lucky by getting the people involved that I did, like Matt from Photosynthetic, right? V9, Canacrew, Tino, right? Just to kind of instantly gravitate, be like, I love this idea. Let's do it. I'll help you in any way that I can. And you just let me know. So when you have that kind of, people that surround you, it really, truly, you can get a lot done in a short period of time. It almost makes you feel like you can get anything done, right? So I'm really, really appreciative of that.
No problem, man.
That's fantastic. V9, we're getting some people saying you are a touch hard to hear in the chat. Maybe we'll have you try switching on another mic that you were using from the top. Maybe just talk a little bit louder.
Me?
No, just V9.
Oh, man.
No?
Say again?
What's up?
Oh, no, we're just, V9, you want to try your audio again there?
Is that a lot better?
Yeah, it is. It's a little quieter, but no, it's sounding better. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, cool. Man, flat out, I'm blown away by the vigor on all these plants that I'm seeing. They're going crazy. Like mine are 3 weeks old, and they're like the size of like a 5-week-old auto. It's insane. I'm loving it. As a few of you guys have said, I've got a bit of pollen stashed aside from an in-house breeding.
I'll just show you, man. Look at this. It's crazy.
Yo,
It's crazy. He ain't lying. He's not lying. He is not lying. Look at this. This is absolutely insane. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Yo, look. This is the platinum swabby. Yeah. It's crazy. That's the biggest.
It's insane.
It's crazy. Another one's over here. Color of space right next to it. I'm like, this is insane. Yo, these plants are massive, yo. Already, they're freaking massive.
Yeah, I'm about 3.5 weeks in myself, and they're just.
I'm like, yo,
giant.
it's
I
crazy.
gotta show off my tiny plant. Okay, so I took one of mine because I looked at it as like it's not a competition, it's a showcase, right? So mine's actually growing on top of this figurine in here. Okay,
Oh, nice.
so
You're going bonsai style.
yeah. So
It's cool.
hopefully it'll work out okay, you know. So that'll be fun to watch. But I'm gonna flip this pretty small, so because I know those swabbies like to stretch.
So, Brandon, I guess I got a question for you then, sir. The genetics that you guys picked for the showcase here, what was the decision process behind that, and how did you guys come to that decision?
So it was basically it was a collab from the past, and then when you do a collab, you get the beans in the process, and then somebody establishes who's going to distribute them. So what we did is we had our share of it, but we didn't know. We were trying to find something eventually to do with them. They were just sitting in the vault, and then we did the brain food project earlier in the year, and we found great success in that. And what I noticed was the camaraderie between people that when you get into those grow groups, it gets pretty nasty sometimes because it's like, oh, throw cow mag or you suck and all that. But we noticed people were starting to really work with each other. And then we knew I was going to do a project, but just wasn't 100% sure the details, anything like that. But I did know that we had a solid set of beans for it, and that's when this came up. That's when we were like, oh, okay, this is the perfect set of beans, perfect crosses for this particular situation. Considering it does have landrace in it, it is a global thing, kind of ties it in and brings it full circle.
Awesome. And I'm just enjoying the grow myself. You know, I only popped half the beans because I only had that much space, but there'll be future runs, breeding runs. I've actually got some of your JMO that'll probably be crossing with them down the road as well. And it's just a blast. Just a blast being able to work with such fantastic genetics. Now, the next question that I wanted to ask everybody was, of course, we're all over the world. We're in different spots, and with different places, of course, comes different geographies, different challenges. What do you feel is unique to your area, and what do you bring that's unique to the showcase? Who wants to go first?
I'll have a crack, man.
All right.
Biggest obstacle I've got, obviously, is the law, man. Next to that would be I'm in an area that's classified as a tropical area, so there's a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
So so that's a bit of a battle. I'm a bit on top of it though, so. Yeah. That's probably it, bro. Just love sitting down there in that garden, zoning out with my little girls.
It's the happy place, isn't it? I think that's where everybody likes to be.
Yeah, until they sort of get to the size that you can start manipulating them and doing stuff to them. So give them a bit of torture. Show them who's boss.
Nice.
Make them work.
How about you, Tino? Anything you think unique to where you're at that you're having a fight that's different from the rest?
I don't know. I'm pretty blessed where I'm at in California here. I'm in the Central Valley. It's pretty optimal conditions year round.
No doubt.
But what I would say what's unique is I'm not actually growing the strain, but what we did was we call it the pizza gang because I have like the pizza box and everybody that we have like a strong following online, and I was actually able to pick people out of there. InHouse did like a special little thing for me, and we had a really good turnout. It was a really big turnout. We picked everybody from there, and I'm able to, see over them, and we're really close already. And they're already from all over the place, so it's fun to see the difference in all their grows and be more involved into their grows, and for them to sending me pictures of not only my own genetics, but now I'm following the One World One Plant genetics all over the place, and it's I just can't wait to see the flower. It's going to be great, and it's going to be good to get involved next year and put all these seeds out everywhere for everybody.
Tino's being, I'm going to jump in here real quick. Tino's being a little bit modest. The reason why Tino's not growing is because literally every single bean went out, right? And so that way he could accommodate as many people as he could in his group. He gave up his seeds for somebody else to grow. So I think he's like, he didn't want to mention that, but we had a discussion because he's like, well, I want to hook my people up. And so, but I was like, yeah, I don't have any more. In fact, the last bit went down to Metadink in that last package that I sent them, but there's 0 beans left. So the only thing that these plants are going to live on is through clones and anybody that works off of them, because that whole batch is completely gone. That jar is empty. Not even, I even sent the ugly ones too.
Nice. So that even makes it just that much more of an honor to be able to participate. How about you, Trey? Uniqueness to your area?
Low humidity right now. It's terrible. I got 2 humidifiers kicking to beat like 27% in my tents, So that's the worst thing. A lot of people, some in my team are in like Colorado and Michigan and stuff like that. So we're all kind of dealing with the same thing. Vegging plants, humidity.
Yeah, very similar to up here in the Great White North. Humidity's terrible though; it's super dry. It's like living on a piece of cardboard; it just sucks right out of you. So, the nice thing is I don't have to worry about a dehumidifier. But of course, for us, it's the cold too.
I could do that. My dehumidifier runs for like 9 months out of the year, so this is like the off time for that, and other things go. So.
Chicago's like the Illinois area and the Midwest there gets super humid during the summertime. So those humidifiers and ACs run constantly.
HEPA filter
But it's
too.
summertime down in Australia, right?
What was that?
It's summertime down in Australia, right?
Yeah, we're in balls deep in summer here. We literally just had it storm roll through. So yeah, it's pretty humid at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that dehumidifier cranked day and night. Just got a hose coming out of it, draining constantly.
What about you, Matt, up there in the Great North? I know you're running the show here, but I kind of want to incorporate you a little bit on
of course.
How's it going up where you're at? Because you guys get pretty crazy temperature swings, right? It's either really hot or really cold.
That's just it. Like we've seen, since I've started growing, we've been deep into the minus and then back up to the plus. If I'm going off Canadian temperatures, I've done about a 40-degree swing, which is I think it's about 70 degrees if we're looking at Fahrenheit, and that's just for my area. That's normal. So my grow room tends to do weird things because it is outside in my garage, but it is what it is. Fortunately, the in-house stuff is sitting in this tent beside me. In the indoors, I'm doing quite well with constant control, and everything's happy. So pretty stoked in that regard.
It's pretty tough on equipment though when you do that, when it's that big of a swing, right? So especially if you climate control, it's going from heat to AC back and forth, and wreaks havoc for sure.
Oh, certainly. I think we all have definite challenges indoors, being indoor growers, affected by the seasons like the folks outside, but it's unique in that regard, I think.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Vina? Anything else that you wanted to touch on uniqueness to your area?
We have this saying in the Midwest, and I'm sure Trey would probably agree with this one. If you don't like the weather, wait about an hour, because it'll change on you at the drop of a hat. There's times where we'll get all 4 seasons in one day. I'm not joking. It is right around Melbourne. Right around Easter. Right around that time, we get all 4 seasons in one day. Yeah. So it's kind of you just never really know. The true story. So I actually had an auto that I was running in this tent and the humidity got really, really high when I chopped her down. And I put her in my dry area. It's a closet that has no ventilation whatsoever, so it's stagnant air, and it stays at a certain temperature. And it rained really, really hard that day. I mean, it poured. I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna get humid. And the moment I got home, it was already too late. The humidity was about 89%. I'm like, oh fuck. I knew that was it. I said, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It was done. It was done. I'm like, mold. Like,
Oh man, that sucks.
broke my heart. You broke my heart, man. Broke my heart. But I mean, I would say like that's the one thing we deal with, like swinging, whether we just really never really know for real. Beyond that, like it's more of a. I'm blessed. This grow room right here, I'm very blessed in this particular room. The temperature stays pretty good in this room, but everywhere else not so much. And I don't know. I'm happy. That's all I'm gonna say. This is my flower room too, so I'm glad. So I mean, just swinging temperatures. It's just you never really know what you're gonna get, even in the summer. But in the summers, it gets really, really humid, and I mean really humid.
All about having that control and having it locked in. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So I think I've got maybe one more question here, just written down, and definitely a few things I could think of to ask everybody. But the big one is, what unexpected benefits have you come to realize from participating as a captain in the Grower Showcase so far?
Oh, can I go first?
Absolutely.
Okay. This one thing I was not expecting. So, you know how we have trolls, internet trolls? Okay,
Might
when
be
this
familiar.
started I have my fair share of anti fans, right? People that just don't like you for whatever reason. So I got a message, and I'm not gonna call the person out, but he's like, basically said, one world, one plant, mad respect. I still hate you, but I'm mad respect on the one world, one plant. I'll never troll that. I'll never say anything bad about that. But I'll continue saying all this stuff about you, no problem. That's right. So was I ever expecting that? Absolutely not. But on the real tip though, is the amount of joy in the emails and the stuff, the feedback and the DMs, all that people express and kind of open up to you. Wasn't expecting that. Also, too, really just amazing to see the impact that it had, and all of that. So you get this full like swing and spectrum of people's, emotions and thoughts and all that stuff, and that's been really unique and really cool to see, because it really solidifies the fact that we're all doing really great things here. We're all, in a sense, in our own big huge club that in some places it's a secret, some places it's you can talk freely about it and all that. But that's one thing I wasn't expecting, is a couple of these things where I was like thrown back or really moved by it and that type of thing. But I started off with the troll thing because I did find that really interesting, because that person was serious. He hates me, but he was like, I won't let anybody mess with the one world, one plan. He's like, that's legit. I like it. Appreciate it.
People are funny, man. I mean, they really are.
But he changed someone's mind though. I mean, because hey, it's a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction.
That's right. Yep.
Hey, I gotta tip my hat to that, because it means you did a damn good job. That means you touched his heart just a little bit.
Well, I think, as you guys see, it's like it's touched everybody in a way, but what it's done is it's been such a positive vibe. So like with the original question is like, what kind of changes have you seen, and what stood out for you? That to me, that was what stood out and wasn't expected, but it's also a pleasant surprise to see all of that, the good, the bad, and in some of the possible ugly.
There's definitely the ugly out there at times, that's for sure. But it's, you absolutely touched on it. It's this message of positivity, everybody coming together, doing the one thing for the plant, showcasing it in a way that really helps promote the home grower. It says like we're doing something good for people, and being able to share that out and give stuff to folks. It's been really, really fantastic so far. Trey, how about you? Unexpected benefits.
Well, this is my first podcast ever,
Oh,
you know,
cool.
that somebody that I've been on. So it's like that's a level up for me right here, you know. So it's a cool milestone
Now
to
we're good
reach.
times.
But then like yeah, it just opens it up to like so many more people. And then like I hang out in Facebook forums and stuff. So like and like groups for my state and stuff like that. So I'm like been able to reach more people by like using this like the Grow Off as a platform itself.
Yeah, bigger,
So
better
that's nice.
community. That's for sure.
Cannabis community is the best for sure.
We are. You're awesome.
What about
Brandon,
you, Matt?
yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, what about you, Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
I think I've kind of touched on it. It's that growing community. When Brandon asked me if I wanted to be a captain, he also gave me a few extra seats to share with some of my community, and just the reaction from the guys was absolutely floored. To be able to bring in some of my close friends to help participate in this, and then just get that message out that much bigger or better. It's wonderful, and to continue to do this and take and make beans from these amazing plants that we're growing so far, and then share those. It's to continue to give and continue to share and proliferate this great plant and this great message with everybody that we're growing at home and we're doing it for everyone. Like, just shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, and a big thank you for, using your platform to continue to spread the word to get it out there. I mean, this is something that you didn't have to do at all. And so when we were moving and as this is progressing, that's why I was like, well, we're gonna get a bunch of people together. I want this to be the podcast that we start out at, and have the discussion because you're an intricate part of the situation, So I want to thank you for that.
Greatly appreciate that.
Salute you, brother.
Yeah. Back at you guys. What about you, Tino?
I just think like the amount of people, that were interested, it really blew me away, and I was just like taken aback by that, and to be able to be involved is great, It's a step, in positive direction, bringing light to the home growers, and that's what it's really all about is to, bring the home growers together, and and there's a lot of us out there, and it's amazing. It's such a good idea, and I can't wait to see where it goes, from here.
Well, let's keep in mind that why home growing is ultimately important, and one of the driving factors behind this is it's where innovation comes from. That's where problems are solved. This is where you can kind of like back in the day, like NASA would have a problem, release some patents, let people work on it in their garage. A solution would come back. Next thing you know, we have rockets that can land on the moon. We have rockets that can take off. So in a sense, like, and I've even compared it to like craft brew style things, but home growers will have the time and dedication to fix the critical problems that we encounter on a regular basis, whether it's a pathogen, it's a bug, whatever it is. They're the ones that are going to kind of pave the way to be like, here's the solution, scale it up, and then you can fix it. Because as we move into legalization and everything across the nation, and you'll start, these facilities are popping up all across the country. It'll kind of create a counterbalance, so it forces the industry to keep up with the quality. So you're not force fed piss poor quality, right? Because the home growers will just be like, well, I'll just grow my own until you can get better, But if and that's where I think that you create this counterbalance, and that's why I think one of the main importance of home growing is to keep innovation and keep this plant thriving and alive.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so much, and that's the thing is, the guys at home they're doing weird things. They really are. I try fun plant experiments from time to time just to see what works. And, I encourage that with everybody. Take a plant, grow it horizontally to pollinate it out and whatnot. Just have fun with it. Enjoy your grow. Medidank, over to you. Just unique benefits, unexpected benefits.
Just the networking with other growers, getting learning new methods of training, just tips with growing. I've swapped over from going with cocoa and salts into living soil now. So, I'm getting some advice from the other guys around in my team. So I'm always learning, man. That's what this is all about. Hey, always learning. Just being a captain as well. That's the biggest surprise of everything. I'm not the world's best grower out there, but Branden, he had a bit of faith in me. So reached out and said, yep, sweet. I'll help you out, man. I'm happy to do so in future as well. So again, all the networking that's come out of this is awesome.
Like I mentioned before, growing is kind of like a doctor. A doctor practices medicine, right? Growing, you're just practicing daily, right? And learning new techniques. Like nothing worse than when you hear, I'm a master grower, I know everything. Like, in fact, I kind of mock it with.
Oh my God, I talked about that the other day.
The master, it won't show up, but I have a master's grower certificate that I made out of crayons specifically for that. Because when you're talking to someone genuine, they're like, yeah, I'm constantly learning, and I've been growing for 10 years, 20 years, 5 years, right? I encounter stuff all the time, and that's the thing too, is you're never gonna be a master of it, but you're gonna know it really well. And also too, I say it all the time, some of the greatest growers literally in the world use that hashtag, the InHouse Army hashtag, right? And now they're beginning to use the One World, One Plant hashtag, and it gets to show, so much information. And I think that's what real positive is I think a lot of people are starving for content that's informative, right? Because they want to do the best of their ability. So by networking and all these folks talking and exchanging ideas is boosting that daily, literally daily.
100%.
Yeah, that's real.
There's always information to give. There's always something to learn. Like recently I was getting shut down by some guys on Facebook for a yield that I'd gotten. They just couldn't believe it. Instead of like, how'd you do it? They'd rather just bullshit. You didn't get that. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Haters gonna hate.
Look, I just call it a different version of a fan club, right? Because if they're not talking about you, that means you're not doing anything right, And also too, look, you're always up for improvement. I've seen people that gone from just almost throwing in the towel to just banging out their rooms and their tents and all that. I mean, just straight killing it, and what it does is like Geeky Madman says it all the time, preaches it. He's like, never stop growing, right? Never stop growing, no matter what. Even when you think you failed, keep growing instead of going.
100%, man. 100%.
And that's a good message, because there's probably people that maybe have encountered this live tonight that they got a mite problem. They got, it's looking terrible, right? And they might think, actually, you know what? I'm going to dissect this a little bit. I'm going to take the steps, because the plant will, in a sense, you start treating it, right, it'll heal itself. It's a resilient plant, so that's the thing, is like, no matter what stage you're in or what you encounter along the way, just keep moving forward and just never give up.
Well, even the bad stuff makes you better. It makes you a better grower. Each experience, every time something goes wrong and you figure out what's going on and you fix it, like, you just leveled up, like you just,
best believe I've had my fair share of failures, and nobody highlights the failures, right? So you only get to see the successes, but nobody it's like an iceberg. Your failures are here, but the iceberg is way down here. So this is all your failures just to get to this little peak of an iceberg. No joke, But I love it. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, absolutely. Like I'd go even harder, But that's the thing is like, once you once you get over one hurdle, guess what? There's another hurdle right in front of you. Just never stop,
And if you don't think there is, you're just missing it. So, look a little harder.
But like, even if your plants don't make it to harvest, you still have that experience. You know, like now you'll know what to see next time, or you know, adjust something,
Exactly.
figure it out. So
Yeah, I think
You have to take advantage of your, even though you think, oh, you're down in the dumps, you messed up your grow. Well, you need to figure out what happened, and you need to figure out what you did wrong, and you need to really learn from that lesson. And that's how I learned all my growing. Is I there was no Instagram when I started growing. You know, there were still forums and stuff, but I didn't know how to do all that. I wasn't down to just read a bunch of stuff. I learned straight from just trying it and messing it up. And shit, I'm not gonna do that again. And then the next one. Oh, okay. You know, I always tell everybody, you know, just change one thing at a time if you're gonna change something. Don't go changing a bunch of stuff. But yeah, it's interesting to see the evolution of how growers are learning how to grow. And there's a lot of information on Instagram and yeah, well, you don't see the bad stuff. You know, it's
mate, like when I started out as a kid, the only information there was those old school grow books, but you had to find a bookshop that stocked one.
Yeah.
When I lived in the bush, you had to go far for one.
Yeah, I had what was it? I can't remember his name now.
There's a purple one with a big bud on the front of it.
Huh?
There's a purple book with a big bud on the front of it. It's like the
That's the same one I had. It's what's his name? It's the dude. He's got like long hair. He's like I forget his name, but yeah, it's the same book I had. It's real thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. That's the only book I had. That's all I had to go off of was that book. It's a great book.
Yeah, so, I found it in like a secondhand bookstore.
Yeah. I'm looking at the comments here, and there's a comment by Hillbilly Herb, right? And his quote is, "Better to be humbled by a mistake than made arrogant by an accomplishment." That's
there you go.
Yeah, that kind of sums up that whole thing. And that was a comment in the comment section from Hillbilly Herb.
Yeah, that's hella deep. Y'all see that shit?
Yeah,
that's good, man.
Well, sage wisdom.
Ed Rosenthal.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm kind of glad there wasn't Instagram or social media when it first started growing, because I think it would have been detrimental, because it took a while to catch on and really kind of, you know, perfect a few things, and also too, sometimes you get too caught up in too much information or trying to copy what other people are doing, essentially. Yep. You know, you kind of forget and you lose your identity. So like once you start seeing what other people are doing, you start putting these little pieces together like a puzzle, you kind of create your own method in your own way of doing things, you know. And everybody's got their own way, but really what it does is when you're having a conversation with another grower, they might say something that you think like, you know, I'm gonna look into that, or I'm gonna check into that, you know, like just getting educated on stuff and techniques it's fun to do, you know, because it's challenging, right? And that's the thing, keeps your brain occupied, because you're constantly challenging yourself, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it gets brutal up there on social media too. Like if you post a picture, oh yeah, some places they'll tear it down. Oh, it was kind of funny because I posted one time from my personal account, thinking I was on an in-house account, and instantly in the comments they're like, "Oh, you stole that picture. That's not your picture." And I realized like, "Oh, oops, I posted under the wrong account," you know. But it was an in-house flower picture. But they was like, "Yo, you're stealing people's pictures," you know. So I was like, take it down and then reposted it under the
people looking out for you.
Yeah, no, man, I'll tell you, I got to give a big shout out to everybody for that support. Like when it comes to scammers, when it comes to people, just like, you know how it goes. It gets crazy out there. Just that support. Also,
the amount of accounts that got created, man. The amount of
yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is insane.
But watching that support translate into a project like the One World, One Plant, right? Because the one thing that I did see that I forgot to touch on was some people hit us up being like, "Hey, I was picked, you know, for a ticket, but I wasn't picked to get the beans. But thanks for the couple of weeks of anticipation and the fun. I really enjoyed that." So even the people that that didn't get picked still enjoyed, you know. So that's what I'm saying is like that support, feel that every day, and a big shout out to InHouse Army folks and the people that support us, because your support allows us to do what we get to do on a regular basis. But also, make no mistake about it, we're here because you're here. If you're here, we'll continue showing up and showing out and being right there along. You know, your story is our story, and your journey is our journey as well, you know.
Damn right.
Awesome. And, you know, just touching on the comments here, Norman G, longtime watcher of the channel here. Old school books never gave you feedback and were not interactive. You know, that's the thing, to be able to have the community to say, well, I read this thing, I tried this, I got these results. Somebody else chimes in, I did the same thing, I got different results. And you get to talk about it. What did you do different? How did you approach it? And this is how we learn and really grow as a community, is we get to do the stuff together and then talk about it with each other. We're not hiding anymore. We're not in the shadows trying to keep things, you know, dark and whatnot. It's so refreshing to be able to have those conversations with each other.
Yeah, think about it this way. Just on this particular project, you have a bunch of vets coming together in their own group, right? You know, and then discussing through their own channels and their own situations, right? Because they have a commonality with being a vet. Now they have a second commonality with growing, you know, one world, one plant, and then growing in general, right? You know, so that there's these little pockets of community that are popping up. But it's like I said, it's nice to see other people's work and then interacting with them to be like, well, how'd you get that result? Or, you know, or you encountered this or you encountered that, you know, and it, you know, helps you out a lot of times, because people encounter problems daily. And sometimes internet doesn't help for your solution. It takes somebody to be like, hey, I just went through this. I feel your pain, you know, right? And I remember fighting, you know, the broad mite, right? You know, back in the day, and it seemed like a never-ending defeat. And finally, it was just somebody hit me up, and they're like, "This is how you get rid of those things." And because before that, it was just like, burn your grow down, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't have that opportunity with some of these cuts, because if I cut them down or get rid of them, they're never coming back, or, you know, they're just too rare to go down that route. So, you know, and it was like, I want to say about 5-6 years ago, it was a big deal. And throughout, because a lot of the stuff that was coming in and out of California was loaded up with broad mites and russets, you know. But also too, you can't just junk something that you've worked on, or something that you you may never get again.
Yeah, definitely the scary thing is always the pests, and nobody wants to deal with those.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I think we're getting kind of close to the end of the live here. I want to do a little round table. Any sort of last thoughts? We're 42 days into the showcase. You know, right at that 6-week mark. What do you see? You know, ahead. What sort of great things are coming from your team? Final thoughts. Hey, Dank, we'll start with you.
I will say
We're starting to look forward to see the flower shots coming in.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot. There's going to be some good phenotypes coming through, I reckon. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing flowering.
Definitely.
100%. I think we're going to see some real surprises too. Different stuff in store. V9, you were saying? I
was saying, like, my team is really coming together. You know, the camaraderie is unbelievable. I'm also really, really impressed at how many people who didn't get picked came overwhelmingly wanting to be picked the next time. It's like those numbers that we got before are probably going to quadruple, if not go 10 times over. As far as this is going to be great. This is going to touch so many people. And it's just going to get better and better and better. I'm looking forward to the future.
Awesome. What about
I'm really big into training. Like, I use these Essential Engineer clips. I'm sponsored by them, and so, like, because I love training plants and like moving them and stuff, like with the bonsais. So like everybody's right at the point where they're like really starting to like work with them and do stuff. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I love seeing plants manipulated. So it should be fun.
Yeah, For sure. And then over to you, Tino. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the flip. It should be coming, some here pretty quick, and then after they start flipping, it's just a countdown from there, and I'm excited to see the finished product from everybody and to see all the differences. I just can't wait. I'm not even growing, and I'm just like watching scoping out everybody's page, and can't wait to get everybody's smells and all their stuff, what they did, and all the stuff at the end. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think all the prep work and getting to where we need to be to get things into flower is really starting to happen. And we touched off that at the top that some folks are already flipped, so we will see the magic very, very soon. And I guess Brandon, back over to you, sir. Final thoughts.
Actually, I'm just going to kick it back to you, Matt. Do you want to answer that question, and then I'll answer?
Sure. I think I echo what everybody said. It's getting ready to flip, seeing where things are going. It's the vigor that I'm seeing with these plants is terribly exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go, but more so to see what people do after the initial project and what they're going to do. Are they going to do breeding runs? What are we going to see come together? What kind of crosses, and what the future holds? And of course, round two.
Yeah. So I like I said, I'm floored and super humbled by the fact of the outpour of support, the people, their stories, everything. And then now we get to continue watching that, but looking forward to the flower, but also I have to start thinking about the next go around, the next year, and getting that organized. So because this project truly is a community project. It's for the people really stepping up, taking the reins, running with it, making it their thing, and really bringing it full circle. So now I can let that play out and know that it's in good hands, because look at everybody that's just on this live right now and the people that are involved. So now I can start reaching out and really networking and get more people, especially breeders or people that are up and coming breeders, involved for next year, so we can get more people incorporated, get more people involved in this. So this is just like a sample of a much bigger thing. So I look forward to actually getting out and networking with people and getting the next go around set up, and because next go around, I imagine it's going to be super crazy, because this was a 24-hour post and the outpour was just wild. So imagine if I leave it up for a couple of days on how big it's going to get. You don't want to disappoint too many people, so once I was like the ratio of 1-to-1 disappointment, I was like, I can manage that, but if you start getting into, like a 5-to-1 ratio there, then people can start getting mad. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is a little bit forward thinking, because with the captains that are involved, the people that are involved, the project's in great hands, and it allows me to kind of focus on the next go around, so that way we can not only improve, because we figured we crashed the car up and banged the car up a little bit on this one and learned from it, and learned a lot from this, and so we'll be even better on the next go around in the next year for the project. Actually, not next year, should I say later this year.
There you go. So people stay paying attention. Follow the InHouse Genetics Instagram there. Brandon, you just want to shout that out real quick for those who aren't following you?
Oh, well, you can find us on Instagram. So you can Instagram. When I'm not, when it's not shadow banned, right? Actually, it's hard, because I don't know the handle outright, but it's hard to shout out an Instagram handle, because there's so many fake accounts that a lot of people like it. So type in InHouse Genetics. Our accounts will range from right now 36,000 followers down to as minimum as 10,000 followers. So like our official page is InHouse Genetics .official, and then this one is the InHouse Genetics Rec. So the InHouse, both those accounts have over 10,000 followers, so don't get duped on that. And also, too, as a reminder, InHouse will never ask you to DM them or ask you to email you in the comments or anything like that. So if you see anything that's InHouse related, trace it back to one of our official accounts or our emails, because that's a lot of people have been getting duped that way. Just a friendly reminder, since I have an audience, we'll never ask you in the comment section to contact us.
Yeah, it's a very good advice because there's so much scam bullshit happening right now. My channel got hit a couple of weeks ago with the WhatsApp scammers. So yeah, I'm not working with WhatsApp at all. We don't even have that here in Canada. So Tim just put the official link there in the channel there, and I'll have him link the Discord one more time because as we close out here, of course, after party, moving over to the Discord. Anybody who wants to join us, come chat. We're gonna go and have some fun and games and do a little interactive discussion like we do every Friday, where we help some of the new growers learn some of the things that we've been doing for a while. And I think tonight's is going to be open topics for the rest of the night. So if anybody watching wants to come and has questions about growing and that sort of thing, love to have you over there. It's always good times. Guys, that being said, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with each and every one of you. And I'm thinking we should do this again in about 6 weeks' time, as we're getting close to, people being mid to end of flower and really sort of seeing what else we've learned.
Of course. And again, Matt, I really appreciate it. Seriously, mad respect for just kind of stepping up just based off of a couple of messages that we exchanged. And I was like, look, I need some representation. I need good people up in Canada because I have this group. And you were instantly, just without hesitation, was like, yeah, I got you. You just let me know whatever you need, and that goes to show the people that are in the live tonight. But I just wanted to take a second and personally thank you for the work and everything that you've done to this point. I talk to the rest of these guys pretty regularly, but also thank you guys as well. But kind of Matt bringing us up on his YouTube channel and having a discussion is great, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Branden, and I in turn appreciate you guys. And I think that's really part of the message. It's one world, one plant, but also one community.
Yeah, that's the reason why we're all here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. InHouse, thanks for making all this happen, and Matt for being on here. And I just want to give a shout out to the comment section, all the pizza game in the comment section. So
yeah, I see him in there. I see him going crazy there,
Shout out to
Tino's
we're gonna be having that Friday night beatdowns tonight, so you guys come through.
Yeah, Tino's got his own he's got a following there that's called the Pizza Gang, Tino Gang. It's a rambunctious group. It's a unique group, but ultimately the people that make it up are good people, and you get to see a lot of cool stuff. But that's where you see the pizzas popping up in the comment section. So
I'll tell you, I'm gonna come out west, and I'm gonna come out to Fresno and fuck with you, man. You gotta show me some love.
Let's go.
I think we're all end up at Tino's house, and he's gonna make us all a pizza. I'm gonna see if there's.
If you can impress me with some good pizza, dude, I'll be your best friend.
Let's go. Yeah, I got you.
St. Louis, brother. So we like our pizza.
Yeah, I think you guys I'll get on the horn with you guys through the DMs and stuff, but I think some of us should actually link up for next year and kind of really plan it, and probably actually link up in person and do a couple of cool things, because I think like I said, the project can only get better, but I think we can actually link up and get a lot more done, like in person, and really make it big.
Big things coming, guys.
Like Fresno.
Oh, yeah.
Fresno is fine.
I want to say I'm highly gondinous over on Instagram. It would have been smarter if I put that as my name on here. But
what I'll do after the stream finishes and this goes to just a normal post on YouTube, I'll get everybody's tags and I'll post them in the comments. So if anybody wants to come and follow the rest of y'all, by all means, please go ahead and do that. That being said, guys, just wicked chatting with everybody tonight. We'll do this again down the road. One world, one plant. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight.
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Right, guys. We out.
Peace.